If you clicked on this video, you're probably where I was a year ago, trying to figure out how to get into UBC, watching every video that you can find, but none of them are really answering your questions. As someone who has now been admitted into UBC Sauder, I'm making this video to give you the advice I wish I'd had back then. Let's go ahead and get started. UBC uses a comprehensive review process. The two things that matter the most are your grades and your personal profile. The personal profile is where you really show the real you. It's a series of written responses about who you are, what you've done, and how you think. You also include 5 activities of your choice. A lot of people spend too much time stressing about grades, but don't give enough attention to the personal profile. UBC claims that they give your grades and your personal profile equal weighting, so it's 50-50. The big thing UBC is looking for across every faculty, they're looking for somebody who contributes to their school, their community, their workplace. Someone who doesn't just show up but takes initiative, and keep that in mind as a filter as you're writing your responses. Even if you're not planning on going into Sauder and you're planning on entering a different faculty, I still recommend watching this video because a lot of my own tips apply to not just Sauder, but UBC as a whole. Now, a lot of the information about how to get into UBC is a little bit more available online, but what's less available is the stuff on how to get into Sauder specifically, so that's why I want to go ahead and move on to the second section, which is now let's go ahead and talk about what Sauder wants specifically, because there are a few differences in the application process. First, grades. To put it bluntly, pretty much everyone applying to Sauder has an average somewhere in the 90s, most likely somewhere in the mid to high 90s. But like I mentioned earlier, grades are not the whole story, it's only half. What that also means is, good grades alone are simply not enough. They're like a check mark in a box, basically. They get you into the conversation, but they don't get you into the school. You have to stand out in your own unique way. And that's where the personal profile comes into play. Second, Sauder has its own specific essay prompts on top of the standard UBC ones. So if you're applying to a different faculty, you'll get a set of questions, but if you're applying to Sauder, I think it's 2 more that you get. Third, Sauder responds well to applicants who can show some kind of business or entrepreneurial thinking. That doesn't mean you need to have started a company. It means that you're showing you've identified a problem, taken initiative, and built something around it. That could be a real job where you went beyond what was asked of you, a project you started at school, a side hustle, anything that really shows that you create value rather than just participate. I would also say that work experience carries real weight at Sauder, more than people expect. Holding an actual real job, dealing with responsibility, managing your time around school, that demonstrates maturity in a way that clubs and awards sometimes don't. If you have the time, try and find yourself a part-time job because that really will benefit you in your application. And finally, Sauder has a video interview as part of their application. This is by far the biggest difference between applying to any other faculty versus business at UBC. This is something that you'll find pretty common across a lot of commerce programs across Canada. It's basically just a quick way for them to see how you can think on your feet. I'll get into how to prepare for it in the tips section, but before we move on, I want to quickly share what my average was when I applied because I know it matters to you guys. Me personally, when I applied, this was at the end of grade 11, so it was basically all my grade 11 marks, and I don't even think any of my grade 12 marks yet, although I had taken some senior level courses, so some APs and some grade 12 courses in advance. When I applied, my average was 96%. All right, now it's time for me to give you the advice I wish I'd had back then. Tip number 1, apply early. UBC has an early consideration deadline. Applying early shows commitment and gets your application in front of admission officers before the rush. It also forces you to have everything together earlier, which means less stress and more time to refine. From my own experience, I found that my friends were stressing about their applications down to the very last second, so while they were panicking, it was out of my hands at that point, so I was able to just kind of relax, which was great. Another great thing about that is it gives you more time to focus on school as opposed to trying to juggle maybe work, school, and getting your application done. Sit down in, August and start drafting out your application so that you can have it in right as the application's open. That is my number 1 piece of advice. Number 2, like I mentioned earlier, I took some senior level courses in grade 11, and the biggest one by far is taking Pre-Calculus 12 in grade 11. This is one of the most underrated pieces of advice for anyone applying to Sauder or UBC. Pre-Calculus 12 is required, and if you take it in grade 11, it's already on your transcript when you apply in the fall of grade 12, which means you've got a final mark rather than like a midterm mark. What it also does is it frees up your grade 12 schedule for other things. I also recommend taking Calculus 12. I'm in it right now, and it's going to be very valuable because I won't have to see all the calculus material for the first time in university. I'll already have, a rough understanding because I've taken it in high school. Another really awesome advantage of taking classes earlier is right now I go to school from about 9:30 to 12:15, so I'm only in school for a few hours because I only have 2 classes, and it's so awesome. I strongly recommend. Tip number 3, take courses that match your ability. The most important thing is getting the highest mark that you can. So, if regular chemistry suits you better than AP chemistry, take regular. Don't take AP classes just for the sake of taking them. I cannot stress that enough. AP courses matter way more to American universities than Canadian ones. What actually matters here is the percentage that you get in your course. As someone who got into Sauder, I took Chemistry 11, Physics 11, and Chemistry 12. And when I was admitted, they'd only been able to see my Chemistry 11 and Physics 11 grade. I didn't even take biology, let alone any APs. I knew my own ability and I was like, could I have done it? Maybe, but would my mark have been as high? Probably not. There is a limit to this though. Your transcript still needs to be made up of solid academic courses. Even though it wasn't AP chemistry, it still was chemistry and physics. You can't just take non-academic courses to try and inflate your GPA. Don't take non-academic courses unless you really enjoy them, because your time could be better spent doing other courses. Again, if you want to take the non-academic courses, you go for that, whatever floats your boat. But me personally, I'd rather just have a free block rather than taking a class for the sake of taking one. The big takeaway from all of this is take classes that suit your own abilities, but also don't take classes that are easy just to try and get like a good grade. Tip 3B is make sure that your timetable and your schedule has some rigor to it. So it means that you're taking harder courses. Again, it doesn't have to be the APs necessarily, but you do want to show UBC that you're challenging yourself. Again, I want to go back to tip 2 for a second. Taking Pre-Calculus 12 a year early shows UBC that you're trying to challenge yourself, maybe step outside your comfort zone, and that does carry real weight. My advice would also be to plan out your schedule and what classes you're going to take the summer before grade 12, maybe even the summer before grade 11, and build like a 2-year plan for grade 11 and grade 12. That's personally what I did. I sat down with my counselor and we looked ahead and we're like, okay, grade 11 will take these classes, grade 12, these classes, and that really worked for me. Tip number 4, be specific in your essays. This is the single biggest difference between essays that work and essays that don't. Generic words like hardworking, passionate, dedicated, they show up in every application and they don't mean anything on their own. Real numbers, real situations, real details are what make an essay memorable. If your essay could have been written by an applicant anywhere, rewrite it. Tip number 5, for the activities section, show role, outcome, and lesson. 500 characters is a very short amount, so every word has to earn its place. Don't just describe what you did, fit in your specific role, a measurable outcome if possible, and what you actually learned. And if you can, try and lead with anything entrepreneurial, leadership-based, or real work experience. And again, a little bit of a subsection for this tip would be to include enough aspects that make you look well-rounded as a student. When you are entering your activities, they have different sections for which your activities can fall under. What worked for me was including one sort of from each section, but just try your best to appear well-rounded. For example, what I would not recommend doing would be having 5 activities that all relate to sports. Tip number 6. So I want to quickly explain to you how the video interview process actually works, having gone through it myself. You get 3 questions. For each one, a video will play twice of a person speaking what the prompt is. After those 2 videos have played, a 30-second timer pops up. This gives you time to gather your thoughts and think about what you're going to say. If you're ready early, you can start sooner, but once that 30-second timer hits 0, the video starts and your response begins, regardless of if you're ready or not. You get 90 seconds to respond. My advice would be use the STAR approach. If you don't know what it is, look it up, learn it, and get used to using it. It'll automatically stop at 90 seconds as well. So if you're talking, and it hits 90 seconds, you're just gonna get cut off. What you can also do is you can click a button to stop your recording a little bit earlier if you're done sooner. My advice would be try your best to fill out that time. It's not the end of the world if you're 5-10 seconds off of the time, but if your response is only like 30 seconds, that's gonna be a little bit thin, and definitely make sure that you're saying what you need to say in a concise and cohesive manner so that you don't run over your allotted time. The good news is you get to do it 3 times total. I was under the impression that you were only able to do it twice, so after I messed up my first one really bad, I got really nervous, but luckily you actually get 3 attempts, and then you get to choose your best 2. So you get to basically eliminate 1 and submit 2 for review. If you mess up during the video interview, take a deep breath, collect yourself, and just keep going. Definitely don't panic, don't stop, don't say sorry, just and keep going. The biggest thing is practice. Practice answering interview style questions, whether that's in front of a camera or a mirror, because the 30 seconds that they give you to think goes by really quickly. And let me tell you guys right now, your answer matters, but not as much as you think. What matters more is how you speak, how you present yourself, how you support your ideas, and just really your ability to think on your feet. That's what they're looking at, not what you say, it's how you say it. From my own experience, the way I practiced for the video interview was very simple. I printed off a sheet of 100 interview questions, including some that had been on past video interviews for Sauder. You can find them online. I put those questions then inside of a Ziploc bag and I practiced them in the shower over and over again. I used my watch to time 30 seconds and then 90 seconds. And I did that many times, and it really did help. The video interview is an opportunity for you to show how you can think, how you can speak and communicate clearly. So use it to your advantage. Even if it's stressful, practice it and make it so that it isn't stressful, and it's an opportunity for you to shine. That's everything that I wish someone had told me when I was applying a year ago. UBC, they want contributors, and Sauder specifically wants people who can work well in a team, handle pressure, communicate effectively. If you keep those things in mind across your application, you're in a strong position. Be specific, be honest, and write things that only you could have written. Remember, you need to stand out and not seem generic. Easier said than done. If you guys have any questions about any part of the process, drop them in the comments and I will try and get back to you as soon as I can and answer them for you. Good luck. You guys got this.